Hello, everyone. Welcome to our discussion today, where we will dive more into the exciting world of market analysis and research, specifically here in the Central Florida Orlando real estate market. I'm your host, Joe, and joining me today is Russ. Russ is a seasoned real estate advisor here in Central Florida and also a widely respected expert in property management and market analysis. Russ, welcome.
Thank you, Joe. I am thrilled to be here and share the insights on conducting market research for investment properties and analyzing market trends in the Orlando, Florida area. It's very exciting. It's something that I get really excited about, and thank you so much for letting me be here.
Fantastic. So, Russ, let's start by understanding the importance of market research, especially for those who are aspiring and those who are currently real estate investors. Could you explain why market analysis is such a crucial step before making those investment decisions?
Sure. Conducting market research, it's important to have an informed decision. It's important to be able to know what you're doing before you just jump into it. And especially when you're dealing with current market trends, indicators, current market conditions, it's important to know the market right now as of today. And in the case of Orlando, Florida, it's a very dynamic market. It's got various various factors that indicate the market that can impact your investment. So, very important to be going as a educated investor.
Absolutely. I mean, Orlando, probably the top performing industry is tourism. And then you're looking at the rapid population growth here in Central Florida. It makes it the prime farming ground or ground for real estate investing. Russ, can you walk us through the process of actually conducting that market analysis? What does that look like?
Sure. Well, when analyzing the Orlando market, investors should consider factors such as population growth, employment rates, tourism trends, local government initiatives. They should also evaluate property prices, rental demand, vacancy rates,
Mhm.
neighborhood development plans. It's important to have that local expertise in the market. And so, that's where you really need to have an expert and an advisor to help you out.
Yeah. Those are excellent points. And as we were talking about, those key indicators,
hmm
it's so important to actually get into the market and analyzing those trends.
hmm
What would you say are ways that investors can identify these trends, identify these indicators, specifically here in Central Florida, and make those decisions?
Well, so investors should keep an eye on indicators such as median home prices. That's an important one. Rental rates, of course. Rental rates are very important. Another real big one is days on market, right? Every day that it's on market, it's not making you money. And sales volume, sales volume is how much is being bought versus how much is still on the market. And so those are really important ones. Also, tracking population growth, job opportunities. Obviously, jobs drive home buying, and tourism trends can be really important because when you're talking about investment properties, a lot of people are looking for how much tourism is driving people to come to Florida, either buying on a short-term rental or a long-term rental.
Right, absolutely. And it is essential to stay on top of those market trends, but it also can be tricky, right? And you have a lot
Right.
of information that is being presented to an investor, and especially maybe a beginning
hmm
investor who may not have as much experience. Can you share, like, with those investors, how can one effectively analyze and especially make sense, begin to interpret what this data is telling them, in order to
Sure.
identify those prime investment opportunities here in Florida, Central Florida?
Sure, sure. Well, investors should analyze the data in conjunction with their investment goals and strategies, right? You should take a look at the data and compared to what your goals are and your strategies are for your investment.
Mhm.
And you can do things like evaluate market supply, demand dynamics, rental yield potential. Rental yield and potential is critically important. Um, some of the other things is like, what are some emerging neighborhoods, like some neighborhoods that are being built, and there are some areas that are being revitalized, right? So that's a really important one, especially if you're looking for buying opportunities, valuable locations.
Yeah.
And additionally, of course, networking with local real estate professionals, attending these industry events, they're incredibly valuable. And obviously, coming on and watching these types of videos are very valuable as well.
Yeah. I mean, Russ, you're absolutely right. Networking is such a key game changer where you're actually engaging
Hmm.
those who know this market, and this is especially for those who are new into the area. And you're actually networking with people whom you can add to be a part of your team to making
Right.
this success even more successful. So speaking of which, Russ, are there any specific resources or tools that investors can utilize to aid in their process of conducting market analysis here in
Yes.
Orlando?
Well, with a real estate professional, you're able to access all the information that's available on MLS, and that's the key aggregator of all data. It gives you the property data, the economic research. It gives you local market reports, real estate, and things like real estate investment associations
Mhm.
and things that are going on in those areas. So the MLS has tremendous amounts of information
Yeah.
where you're able to do the searches of data, which most people think of. The other one is Wealth Optimizer. Wealth Optimizer, which is one of our cornerstone products from RPM Trusted Hands. The Wealth Optimizer, that is like a deep dive. That gives you incredible information. It analyzes rental revenue. It analyzes operating expenses. It analyzes taxes and depreciation,
Right.
and then it takes a look at your investment capital and tries to find the best solutions for that. So, when you really get down, I mean, that's a deep dive. When you look at that market report, it is incredibly valuable. And then, of course, HomeBot. HomeBot, I find as being a really great tool for taking the temperature of different neighborhoods. It will look at what's a buying neighborhood and a selling neighborhood. There's temperature gauges that are typically by state or by city, but it takes it down to the individual zip code, and you can find some real opportunities in there with HomeBot. It also takes into account how much equity you have. So HomeBot looks at your real estate portfolio. It looks at your home. It looks at what you have as a mortgage on that home and what the net equity is, and then what you can get for the buying power from that net equity. And that's a really valuable tool for looking at how you're going to and use that to invest in rental properties. So you take those pieces. It's a really valuable component, and we definitely like to get it people to it, and they can get it a monthly report from HomeBot, cost them nothing, and they can get that available through us. It's a really valuable piece.
Those are powerful tools. And I
Yes.
think everyone is familiar with MLS,
Hmm.
and how powerful that a tool is, but
Right.
maybe not so much on the Wealth Optimizer or the HomeBot. And I mean, maybe just a suggestion here. I'm suggesting more of these. We can dive deeper into the operation under the engine, under the hood type of feature where we look at what are the functions of the Wealth Optimizer, and what are the functions of HomeBot as well. And those are excellent. Russ, I mean, this has been powerful already, and I think very enriching to those who are, tuning in and, beginning their, education on how to perform those market assessments, market analysis. Do you have any last or final tips, or advice that our viewers can take, when they are really making that decision to engage in real estate investment here in Orlando, Florida?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that it's good to have a broad benchmark. It's good to have a good starting point, and that is to get a full look at the market right now, and that gives you a starting point to be able to evaluate, what type of opportunities and what could be your potential return. And I think that's a really good starting point because you want to have a realistic expectation getting involved in the market. That I think a lot of people know that getting involved in real estate is probably one of their number one investments that they're going to do, because not only can you get appreciation on your underlying asset, you can also receive rental income. And that's building generational wealth. I mean, you talk about you want to make a difference in your family's life, create generational wealth. You want to give your, people talk about, saving money for college funds and things like that. You want to create generational wealth, real estate creates
Yeah.
generational wealth. And so that's a really great component, but you need experts to help you so that you don't fall into a house pit or something like that. So, it's that's why, we take a real personal interest in making sure that we guide people. We put you in to trusted hands, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to guide you in the right direction. And so that's a really important thing. And I want to thank you, Joe, for giving me the opportunity to come on here today and to talk to everybody about this really important topic.
Russ, no, thank you for sharing your expertise on market analysis, performing those research into the communities and sharing the tools that those who are interested in real estate investing here in Central Florida can take, the information and put it into their, add it to their toolbox per se of, their different knowledge base. We all know that knowledge is power, and especially when it comes to real estate investing, the more you know, the better, and the more informed, the more equipped that you're able to make those informed decisions. So thank you so much for this enlightening discussion, and we look forward to having you in more episodes. To all the viewers, thank you for tuning in and for joining us for this conversation today. We do want to hear from you. You may have questions. I mean, it's very difficult to cover a wide array of topics, or to go so much in depth into a particular topic in just one session. So if you have any lingering questions, we would love to engage with you by writing below in the comments any questions that you have. Also, feel free to send us an email, management@RPM Trusted Hands. Again, that is management@RPM Trusted Hands. We'll drop that below as well in the description, so that way you can continue these conversations and take advantage of some of these free resources that we have, for you to use and to make you a more informed real estate investor. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.